The ingenious program is designed under the guidance of Paramahamsa Nithyananda. The ingenious program is a vaccination for higher intelligence, creating the space of possibilities. The physiological and psychological chemistry of the child changes, setting them up for peak performance in health, academics, communication, and leadership skills. The initiation received from the incarnation rewires their brain, enabling them to the peak of possibilities. You will see amazing differences in your child after they attend the ingenious program. You will be pleasantly surprised and ask, is this the same child? In just 21 days, your child is a new being expressing the highest possibilities and intelligence, dropping all violence and anger. The enormous potential inside them begins to manifest externally in all activities they do, and that is when parents start seeing the hidden talents of their children expressing as intelligence in its various forms. You will see the difference in health in case of sick children and also be surprised with the results of special needs children, creating a new avenue for them towards an improved lifestyle. The ingenious program is a leadership program that is a must for every child to move into the new civilization. For the first time, introducing you as a new possibility of tomorrow.
His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda is a world-renowned teacher in the science of living enlightenment. As the spiritual head of the oldest apex body of Hinduism, he is revered as a living incarnation of superconsciousness by millions worldwide. His morning satsangs are viewed live in over 30 countries every day on television and video conferencing. The Nithyananda Vidyapeetham is an expression of Nithyananda's vision to mold the new generation into responsible high achievers who represent the best of both Vedic wisdom and contemporary education. Mahant Maharishi Nithya Advaitananda, ordained disciple of Paramahamsa Nithyananda, is directly guided into the Vedic education by him. This parenting session is conducted by Mahant Maharishi Nithya Advaitananda. Mahant Maharishi Nithya Advaitananda is the head of the Nithyananda Vidyapeetham. She is currently guiding several international, urban and local schools and weekend schools around the world. As an educationist with over 10 years of childcare related experience, she has been working in the field of child development and psychology, enriching thousands of children, parents and teachers from all over the world. Ma Advait frequently conducts training in the areas of early childhood growth and development, child psychology, parental psychology, syllabus design, quantum memory activation, multiple intelligence learning techniques, school administration, and much more. Prior to taking up the lifestyle of enriching lives through education, she was a talented IT professional working with Fortune 500 company Cognizant for over 10 years, of which 8 years were in the US, where she specialized in project and technical management roles for various Global 500 companies. She quit her lucrative IT career and became an entrepreneur by starting an international school in Chennai. She holds a Bachelor of Computer Science Engineering, Bachelor and Master's degree in Education, and is still pursuing her education by doing a Master's degree in Psychology.
Advait, this time want to discuss about responsibility, a space of responsibility, what children understand as responsibility, how we can teach responsibility, and how the second topic Madhvait will do today is learning, how a child learns from the space of a child. We all know how we learn things. How children can learn is something is extraordinary. The way they learn things and grasp things is extraordinary. If we understand that, we will not have fighting when they go to school and college and all that. We won't fight with them. Rather, it will be a joy to see them learning. So the first topic Madhvait want to talk is about responsibility. So Madhvait want to tell How we were discussing last time, the space of a child is completely like going into their room. We have hall, kitchen and all the places. We keep it neat, clean and well organized, looking beautiful and all that. But a space of a child is, they also keep it clean in their own way. Of course, we can teach them if they are not clean, keeping it clean. But I'm talking about a child's space, how they want things to be in their space. Colorful, beautiful, loving, joyful. This is what the space they occupy. Constantly creative, constantly innovative. They have a separate space. They live in a separate domain. Constantly, their only important thing is, are they happy doing what they are doing? If they are not happy, immediately they express that. Not like us, having depression and thinking in the back of the mind, having inner chatter. Not like that. They are going to immediately express that they are not happy, because being happy is the core thing that drives them to be who they are. The life that they occupy is life positive. Madhvit want to tell you, the first thing of responsibility is, where a child is life positive. Everything they see is life positive. What happens to us is life negative. Constantly we are into, oh, this will happen, oh, that will happen, I can't do this, this is not possible for me. Constantly we go on bringing negative thoughts. Oh, how is this possible? I can't do this. No, this is not what I wanted. I didn't come here for this. Constantly no's in our mind. Statistics says 70% of our mind is full of negative no, don't, not. That's why in Gurukul we don't use those words, we say avoid and other words. Because the mind goes on and on and on about negative. The most funny part is, we can't visualize even one negative statement. That is the only thing we cannot visualize, is a negative statement. I can't say don't sit. If I say that don't sit, we can only visualize a person sitting down. There is no way I can visualize don't sit. Or I can visualize standing, but don't sit doesn't exist. The darkness does not exist. Only light exists. Removing light exists. Darkness does not exist. Swami beautifully says, darkness is removing of light. Darkness does not stand by itself. There is no intelligence in that. Even our brain understands, but our mind does not understand. And that's the funny part. Even we know very clearly we cannot visualize a negative context. We cannot visualize a negative action. We can only visualize positive. So our brain is even tuned only for positivity. And from childhood point, from the space the child is, constantly they see only life as positive. The life goes on telling them everything is possible, everything is amazing, everything is beautiful. Anything, even if you shout, they just look at the mom's face and start reading how her eyes are moving. They even learn those things. They look at your lips, how you express, what feelings you get, so that they learn even from that. Where do they get anger is, they learn from the adults who are around and who are expressing. Otherwise, they don't know what is anger. They don't have an understanding what is anger, what is tantrum. They don't have all these understanding at all. We only confirm again and again this is workable for them. We confirm that what you're doing is right. Then comes the whole problem. Then we question them, why are you acting like this? It's so confusing from a child's space. What's wrong with these mom? First they teach them how to get angry, and then they question me, why are you getting angry? What is wrong with them? They really start getting confused. What is the world and why are they acting like this? But at one point they give up and say, oh, this is what we need to do for living in this world. We'll also act like them. It's like a movie. They go for a movie, Tarzan, and they become Tarzan. They want to shout and they want to swing on everything. They just imitate us. They imitate, and by the time they are 14, they are confirmed that they know this is how society lives. This is how I have to be, and this is what I need to do. So constantly we are giving them messages which are not correct. So let's move into the space where they are, how they are, and how you can teach them in the space of responsibility. The responsibility is the achievement goal of where they should be. As a baby, as young as 10 months, 12 months, they know exactly where they took the book and where they have to put it back. They know exactly what they need to do with everything. Like simple thing, food, they put it in the mouth. They know very well and they are very responsible. But then we start like for example, we kept a test for bigger kids and smaller kids. We took some books from the shelf and told them to put it back. When it came to the secondary kids, they just went and put the books in any cubby. When it came to primary kids, they were at least little clear that these books came from these shelf. When it came to the small kids, toddlers, they were exactly putting in the same box where they picked up. They don't even know where it is, but exactly they'll go put in the same box again. It's so beautiful. By nature, we are responsible. They are very responsible for their body. They are responsible for the mind and the space. If we can live like a 3-year-old, then we are in the space of Swamiji only. It's so beautiful how responsible they are for the body, for the mind. They don't care for any conflict, any pattern. They're very responsible in constantly committing to learn, committing to expand, committing to be positive. Constantly. They want to commit only to this space. How constantly we are having inner chatter, we are interested into why is this, why is that. No, we are more into whys, and they are more into how. How can I do this? How I can put water on somebody? It's so curious how it splashes and how the water falls and how it's so slippery. It's so much fun. They're so curious. They're so in expansion. But we are like, oh my God, if I spill water, if we ask an adult to carry the water and a child to carry a water, what would we do? Oh, we have to be very careful. It should not spill. Somebody, will skid. And these are the thoughts which goes on the mind of an adult. But a kid, how to splash, where to pour, can we experiment? Can we see what happens to the water? This is what goes on in the mind of a child. See how different we are. We are a different species altogether. That's what we became. It's not that we wanted, but we followed something and we started becoming that. We are only in constant of protecting ourselves, security. They are into trying new things, expansion. So they are very, very responsible for their body. They will not eat anything extra, not like us. No, anything is so nice, we want to have one more spoon. They'll never do that. They just have what they want, and once they are complete, they will not ask. Even if you keep chocolate in front of a kid, they will say, I am done. That is a completion with body and completion with food. Madhvit is not going to go into the food right now. We'll have one whole session for food. But that's where a child, you can be confident, they will never get obese. When they say, I am done, it's enough. Even if there is a chocolate on the table. And they did not have chocolate before that. If they have had enough food and they say, I am done, Mama, I'll eat this chocolate tomorrow, I am full. You can be sure they'll never get into obesity or craving for chocolate or have problems when they do samyama. So they'll be so complete. Samyama is a food. Centers can update new participants. Madhvit used the word samyama. we have a process, a meditation process, where we are able to go beyond the taste. For adults, that's a small, simple definition. So we take solid, instead of solid, we take liquid, and we are able to take the energy from the space, the air, the prana energy. So when we get initiated into that, Swamiji initiates us, and when we get initiated into that, we are able to do much more than what we normally live with. Eating gives us energy. So that is samyama. So when we have to go beyond the taste, it becomes very big problem. So we attach the taste to energy. No, if I eat only, I'm going to be energetic. Then we start living for next concept called energy. But in a space of a child, the energy and the taste, energy is constantly there. We wonder where they get energy. We know now they get from the space also. They get from the space, the positive space they are in, constantly give them lot more energy. It's like when we have the electrical wire, we have resistance in the wire. So the electricity that is flowing inside the wire is going to minimize the electrical flow. Same way, when we have negative thoughts, we are resisting again and again the life that happens. The children have so much energy is because life is continuous, flowing, positive, without resistance. So beautiful. It's like, that's why when you see a baby, you just want to hug him, squeeze him, because it's so positive. You just want to take that positive and put it inside your body. It's really positive energy that they have. So that is what is very important, where they occupy and where we occupy. Constantly we are in conflict pattern, and constantly they are in expansion and in space of positivity and possibility. So how we keep this alive is parenting. We don't have to do anything. Parenting is very simple. If I want to put it, don't disturb them. As far as parenting is, don't disturb their space is a very simple explanation. Only when we disturb and get our ideas, we start grooming them into all the concept. Otherwise, they are so beautiful by themselves who they are. They are in a possibility space. So the responsibility that we need to create in the child, constantly we need to reiterate in the child. The three things: the body, the mind, and the space. Again I repeat, the body, the mind, and the space. First, the body. Constantly we have to make them understand they are responsible for the body. If we start feeding them, comes the problem. They lose the intelligence which they bring. A baby, when they are born, if you give them milk, we cannot feed them even 1 ounce more or 1 ounce less. Thank God we don't have any meter in our body to measure. Otherwise, we'll be only interested how much of milk we gave. Did we give this? The baby will only drink 2 ounce now, 4 ounce now. We'll be so calculative. But a child knows exactly, even 1 scoop it will not take more or 1 scoop less. If it takes more, if we try to feed, it will take out everything. That's it, 1 cleanup we have to do. If we try to give less, they'll be cranky. We won't know what to do. So it's very important how we take care of their body by understanding what are their needs. Forcing them to eat, forcing them to do yoga is not where we need to make them responsible. The responsibility comes by, first, when it comes to food, giving them the option, and then let them decide how much to eat, how much to do what they need to do. Again and again, let them decide. They know their body very, very well. They are very intelligent being and they know very well. It is not that they like only junk food. It is how we train them. Oh, you like this? You can take this. And they see us also eat. How we cherish when we eat ice cream versus broccoli. So they're going to take the same ideology into them. Broccoli can be as good as ice cream when they see their parents enjoy. If they see their parents enjoy vegetables and fruits, they're going to also enjoy. Of course, Madhvit is not going to get into food. Madhvit is giving you an example, that's all today. So they're going to enjoy everything how we do things. So they know very well, and spoon feeding them and making sure they're eating is not necessary. They are very responsible. They will ask when they're hungry, and initially they don't have time like us. We define morning breakfast, afternoon lunch, evening dinner. Then we start conditioning and bringing hunger as a criteria. For them, initially they know how much to eat and they keep repeating, and slowly we can groom them into a space eating how much you want, not for your tongue or for your filling up the tummy. Eat what you want. When you're hungry, you take that. If you see Swamiji eat, sometimes he doesn't eat at all, and sometimes he eats in consecutive times, like every other hour. That is the space of a child. They don't have any idea about hunger. But when hunger comes really sharp, then they start crying to make you understand that they want food. That's how we start. But by the time we are 14, 15, they start grabbing everything just for the taste. Make sure they are not eating for the taste. And next is the body. If you see a baby, they don't sit quietly, they don't sleep all the time. They even keep moving their legs and hands. Even one day, if we try to lie down and do what they are doing, we'll get the maximum benefit of making our hands and legs strong. It's so difficult. You can try lying down and moving your hands and legs constantly. It's not an easy thing. But they are constantly moving to make their hands and legs strong to start walking. Same way, as they grow, they're jumping all the time. It's very important. A small kid starts walking in 1 year, and only in 4-5 years they can start jumping. It takes 4 years for their body to understand how to jump. That strength, the physical, the abdominal strength they get for jumping takes that time. But once you have an idea about you can go on the air, what a beautiful idea. Why would you not jump? That's what goes on in a child. But mama says, not on the pillow, not on the couch, not here, not here. Why are you jumping, running all the time? It gives such an energy for them to where they are. Running, jumping is the space they love. It's action. Kids love action. That is positivity, to show life where they are. When we are depressed, we don't jump. We jump when we are excited. If by now I'm taking a class for kids, they would have got up and run at least once. They want to show life. They want to be with life. We are like, sit down. Whenever we go, wherever, we want the children to sit down. It's such negative thing according to them. Why these people are always sitting down? Why can't we be in motion? That's why in Gurukul, people just stand upside down, do asanas, do yogas, and while they do yoga, we teach them. It's much more easier than asking them to sit down in a place. It's very difficult for them to sit down. What we think is so easy for us, and what we want all the time is wherever we go, can't we sit down and talk? It's such a thing that we have become so conditioned is to sit down. But in case of kids, can we run? Wherever they go, they want to get up and do one round and see what is available, what is the space, how it is, how they can move in that space. They enjoy the space physically where they are. Even that is so positive. They take really responsibility even in that. Making them sit down is too much of conditioning. Yes, now you're going to ask, if we go to anybody's place, if they keep running, how do we talk and how do we interact? we can define the facts again. We can define the facts that when we go to others' place or when we go there, this is how we need your behavior to be. And that is not conditioning. That is just stating the fact and giving them what are the rules of going there. There is nothing wrong in that. But telling them to sit down all the time, no, especially in the house, you sit and study, don't run about, don't jump about, is an irresponsible space we are creating for a child. We are wanting them to become one of us. Again and again, Madhvetis want to remind you, don't make them one of us. It's very wrong how we have groomed ourselves, and we know exactly, constantly we are in the space where possibility has been lost. If we ask any one of us to do yoga in different difficult poses, we'll say we need training. But if you tell a child, now I want to try this now, I know I can do it, they are always in that space. They, even if they don't do it or they can't do it, they will give it a shot. But we will say, no, this is not easy for us, this is a very difficult pose and it will take some time for us to learn. We are very logical species. They are very expanding and possibility species. We are a different species altogether. So first thing we need to take the responsibility of their body is, they need to be energetic, they need to be jumping, running. That is the normal space they need to be. And I don't know how many of you have dogs. When we have dogs, they need to run. If they keep sitting down, even dogs get obese and they don't function properly. Like that, humans also need to be in the movement. We condition ourselves again and again to the space of, I have to sit down. Wherever we go, if we keep standing, we feel others standing next to us also uncomfortable. We also will feel uncomfortable and we sit down. But a child is an expression of energy. So constantly, that's why they are in hyper, moving, constantly jumping, constantly running. That is the responsibility they have taken to groom the body in where they are. Only because of that motion, they know very well how to use the body to do any yogasana. Because they're constantly in the motion, they can do very well any asana or any new, like if you're teaching them tennis, they know they can do, they have the strength to play. Anything you give them a physical action, they are able to do immediately. They are able to catch immediately. They love it because they know very clearly action and space is where they are. For us, it will always think about, we need time. We need to groom ourselves. The body, the basic body, Madhvet is saying. The second thing Madhvet is want to say is the most important. Body, at least most of us, most of the parents make sure they play, they have enough time for running around and all that. But when it comes to mind, we don't do anything to help them where they should be. The responsibility that they need to take is very, very important. If we don't create the right understanding in the mind right from the beginning, it is very difficult when they are teenage. When they are 14, 15, 16, it becomes very difficult. Then we start suffering. We say, oh my God, you have an attitude. The key word is attitude. Where the attitude comes. The attitude is built by us because of our irresponsible space. The attitude which is negative, which is something they do not listen. The attitude which we constantly suffer because we don't put the right understanding in the child. And then we fight with that attitude to make it what it should be. It's not possible. We first create the attitude, we build the attitude in the child. And then we say, why are you like this? Why can't you keep your room clean? Why don't you have a better dress up idea? All these questions come, these whys come because we structure the attitude in the child and then we question them. They simply don't agree. You will have conflict, you will have a fight, you will be finding it very difficult to handle them. They will not listen because you only taught them this is how they should be. And take responsibility. Completely, parents need to take responsibility if the child's attitude is not aligned. It's completely where it is from the parent. If they carry an attitude in any way, whether it is food, whether it is doing exercise, any attitude they carry, that is because how the parents have groomed. It is, you can say society has given all this, but first they learnt it from parents. It's very, very important.